Good morning. It is October 4th, 2021. Red October. Two of my children, my oldest daughter, Jenna, celebrates her birthday today. And my oldest son, Seth, is celebrating his birthday today. Very special day. So I wanted to share a vision I had in the night on Saturday. And I wanted to talk about a couple more things that I'm seeing right now, or as I pondered and meditated this morning on what's going on in the world. The first being the vision of Saturday night into Sunday morning. When I woke up on Sunday morning, I could remember very vividly these images in my mind from my sleep. What I saw was humans older that were red-skinned, totally red-skinned. And these humans were representing famous people that we all know, politicians, potentially others, Hollywood, people that are on TV and seen, public figures. And they were basically naked, they had underwear on, and they were red-skinned. And why are they red-skinned? Well, you find out, it's like I hear reports of them being involved in horrible crimes with children, cannibalism and things like that, drinking their blood. And the red-skinned nakedness represents the fact that they are totally exposed and they have been called out, and now they're naked and they're ripe for judgment. And that judgment was what I was working through in my mind. And as I was working through what would be the proper judgment, these thoughts of what would be the real judgment of these kinds of people that we see every day on TV that we don't know about yet, that probably this month some of them are going to be exposed, by the way, on the Real John McAfee Telegram channel. There's going to be some exposures. He's already starting to drop some truth about Hillary, potentially Obama. But these people are very evil, dark, satanic people. And so this vision connects to that, this time right now, obviously. That's why I got it. And the judgment was such that the destroyed lives, the slaughtered children, would be their judges in heavenly places, torturing them with their faces, and then they would be in hell forever, being cut like they were cut. So these people, their judgment is going to be perpetual, eternal cutting of their skin and gnashing of teeth, as the Bible talks about hell. So when we get down to it and we start getting upset about the crimes against humanity that are being committed now every day, whether it's the hospitals and their poor treatment or their lack of treatment or the wrong treatment, the forcing of the jabbing of people, we see these crimes and we're disgusted. But these other crimes are hard to imagine. They make us sick to our stomach. And for some of us who've been knowing about this for a very long time, it's not a shock anymore. We're waiting for judgment. That's what we're waiting for. For many of the people we know and work with, for them, it's going to be a shock. It's going to make them angry. They're probably going to be having to get medical or emotional counseling, things like that. Because these are their gods, these are their heroes. If they're a pop star or Hollywood actress, people that are big in the world. Some of them are royalty. And when we come to see that our leaders are so disgusting because they're given over to darkness and they cover it up so well, for many, because these are their heroes, and their heroes are horrible, their worlds are going to be turned upside down. So those of us who are aware that this is very much a historical cycle, that these sins have been committed for the beginning of time. The seed of Cain has committed these crimes against humans for a very long time, because the seed of Cain is satanic. It's a dark seed. It's all about consumption of human flesh and the drinking of human blood, and that's just the way it is. Satan loves death and murder and war and plane crashes, plagues. So he comes to kill and destroy, but the Lord comes at the right time to heal and mend and build. So the lie of our times is this idea of build back better, which really means build back demonically, build back in a dark way, go back to the ancient paths of evil. That's what it means. That's what it really says. To rebuild or rebuild the walls is to go back to the original intent of our forefathers, which was to have a free republic, a joining together convention of states, each state having their own government, but with a federal head, but that federal head was limited in its function. That's the original vision of our forefathers. And that is what we're fighting for today. Liberty, true liberty. Freedom of religion, freedom of choice. But the sacredness of life has to be reestablished. The womb, the child in the womb, has to be protected by our Constitution. And Satan is making an all-out offensive on abortion, because they know that that's on the docket for us to reverse Roe v. Wade. And it probably will happen so soon. And there's going to be a great outcry. But you know what? Based on what this jab does to the reproductive systems, eliminating abortion is going to give us what we need, which is more humans on the earth. And it's going to take away the power of Satan, because every time they slaughter a child in the womb and they sell its body parts off and they use it for medicine right now and put it into food and flavorings, when we cut that off, we take away the power of the evil that has put us in a sleep. So that leads me to my second burden, which is, as I think about what the Reawakening Tour and the other tours, going across the country, patriotic people, rallying the troops and getting people to audit their elections and fight against the mandates for the vaccine and the mask, when we see this work and then we see how hard it is. I mean, it is slugging it out in the trenches. Go to the school board, what happens? Nothing. It's just videos. The school boards are going to do what the school boards do. And the reason is the money. It's because they get federally funded. Our public schools are federally funded. That lunch money and all the rest is needed to function in the budgets that they have. If you take away the federal funds, these schools have to find that money from somewhere else. And right now, they can't find it, or they can't imagine finding it. So why the mandates are happening, the mask and so forth, is because of how they see their money coming in. They feel like they have to cooperate. So as we consider that, I have to say that the only way we fix what we need fixed now to end these horrible mandates and to end this human suffering, which is real, is for God to cut off the head of the beast, just like David cut off the head of Goliath. And think about how efficient that was. You had two armies arrayed against each other. They could have fought each other hand-to-hand combat, and they could have slaughtered each other. But instead of doing that, they decided to put forth the champion. They put forth their hybrid transhumanist person named Goliath, who was intimidating, obviously. And then the Lord put forth David, not Israel. The Lord chose David, a young man, not the king or one of his sons. It was a young man tending sheep who had killed a lion and a bear with his own hands that God chose to take on Goliath. And when he did take him on, he had complete confidence. That spirit of David had complete confidence of victory. And when he won, and actually he told Goliath before he killed him that he was going to cut his head off that day. Don't tell me that didn't have great influence on Goliath. He came at him with anger. He came at him without a good brain. And David slew him with a stone. And that is how this is going to go. God is going to raise up an individual. Probably already has. Could be Donald Trump. It could be somebody we can't see. It could be a whistleblower, key whistleblower. And that individual is going to kill this beast for now. And it's happened, right? So you say, well, we're waiting for the end, waiting for the rapture, waiting for, tribulation, going to go through tribulation, it's going to be the mark of the beast. Look, the mark has been here all along. Think about the Catholic Church. They forced upon the people infant baptism. They were forced to baptize their children into the Catholic Church. Back in the days of Rome, you had to pay your tribute to Caesar. And you had to take, I'm sure it's at different times under those emperors, marks that you were paid up. And they probably branded your skin if you were a slave. So the idea of a mark like what we're dealing with today is nothing new. It's not like, oh wow, the mark of the beast. I believe it is a precursor to the ultimate time when you will not be able to trade, to buy, to sell, unless you have the mark. But we're going to have an opportunity to preach the gospel to all those who have not heard. And that's our assignment. That's what we're going to do. So get yourself ready. This month is going to be a month of exposure of high crimes, exposure of great human tragedy, Nuremberg Code stuff, crimes against humanity. This is going to be a disclosure month. Things are going to come to the surface that we don't really want to know about, but they have to in order for us to wake up our world. And God has those people in place that are going to do that. And when they do their assignment, other things are going to happen, like economic collapse, nuclear threat. But these are all threats. They are not destruction of America. So hang in there. May God richly bless you. Pray for God to raise up his leaders now to save humans everywhere. God bless.